Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It is Tuesday. We're actually going to do a Rashi from the third Aliyah of the combined parashios of Tazria Metzora, and it's a parsha which I know we started to talk about yesterday, and deals with the birth of a child and the laws of Tumah, Vitara, and Bris Milah, but quickly goes on to discuss the Metzora, the case of the Metzora, and person struck with tzarat, what exactly the tzarat looks like, and how it's deemed to be tzarat, and how they get out of the tzarat, and all of those components. But one of the distinctive features of tzaras, which we come to in our aliyah today, the third aliyah, of the combined parshios, is description of basically the avelus process that the Metzora has to go through. The Pirsanas Taras, it says, Vatzarua sherbo hanega, begadav yufrumim, they have to tear their clothes. Virosho ya parua, they're supposed to grow their hair out. Safam yateh, they're supposed to cover their lip. V'tamei tamei yikra. So up to this last part of tamei tamei yikra, these are all the classic signs of avelus. You look in the Gemara in Moed Kata, and it goes through all three of these as simane avelus, some of which we still do today, such as tearing our clothes and such as growing our hair out. Safam yateh is something we still try to mimic today, although not exactly in the way it was done in the time of the Gemara. So there's an avelus, a lost component to this Metzora. But then there's the distinctive feature of tamei tamei cry. He's supposed to cry out, unclean, unclean, I'm tamei. And that goes into the next pasuk. Kol yemei asher hanega bo yitma tamehu. All the days that his nega, his affliction, his sore, whatever you want to call it, the tsaras area is still deemed to be tamei. He or she is tamei. Badad yeshev michutz lamachane moshavo. They're supposed to dwell alone. Badad yeshev, similar to the way the Jewish people are described by Bilam, we're Hein Am Levadad Yishkon, Badad, we're a nation that dwells alone. The Metzora is a person that dwells alone. They have to dwell alone outside of the Machane. That is their dwelling place for the duration of their Tumah period. So not only do they cry out, Tameh, Tameh, they declare themselves to be Tameh. In terms of space, they also exit the camp and have to remain alone. So Rashi proclaims and exclaims over here, Badad Yeshev, Shelo Yutamein Yoshvim Imo. This is not just like the regular process of a person who's Tameh, who's impure, who shouldn't be around other people or touch other people because they might make them Tameh. But if there's two Tameh people, they can certainly touch each other or be with each other because they're already Tameh. So this is different. Badad Yeshev is the added layer applied to the Metzora, which doesn't apply to other Tameim. Not only should they not make a person who's Tahor Tameh, but they just need to be isolated even from other Tameim. Amru Rabosenu, our rabbis proclaim, Manishtana Mishar Tameim Leishev Badad. Why is the Metzora so different from other Tameim who are not required to be Badad Yeshev, not required to be in isolation? The answer is, Hu Hivdil B'lashon hara, bein ish leishto, bein ish lere'ehu, afhu yibadel. Very famous Rashi. Many of you know the concept. But basically, Rashi is claiming the reason why there's the added punishment of badad yeshev for the Metzora is what we call midah keneged midah. We understand, or Chazal understood, even though it's not explicit in the Psukim, that Metzora is a punishment, tzaras is a punishment for Lashon hara. Lashon hara is speech that breaks apart relationships, that breaks apart people. When you speak about some other person, whether that's a familial relationship or a personal friend or a business colleague or whatever the case might be, your words can come to damage that person's life and certainly damage relationships. Tear that person apart from others, tear that person apart from you. The Lashon hara that you inflicted causes a fissure between people. And so now, midah keneged midah, corollary to the crime is the punishment. Hashem tries to match those up. That's what we call midah keneged midah, that the punishment should fit the crime. If the crime was, in this case of Lashon hara, of splitting apart people, so part of the punishment has to be you splitting apart from people as well. You being badad yeshev, you being yibadel, separated from everyone else, so that a person comes to realize the consequences of their actions and what it really means to be separate from other people, with the hope that there is a restorative nature to this punishment as well. This is not just purely punitive, but it's supposed to be corrective in some way. The person is supposed to learn to avoid this kind of behavior in the future now that they've felt to some degree what it's like. In addition to feeling what it's like and trying to empathize with the person that they have to do tshuva from, the person that they have to ask forgiveness from, when they come back to them, truly understanding perhaps a little bit of what it felt like to be alone, that their tshuva is more efficacious. But in addition to that, on a spiritual level, there's some form of kapara as well. There's some form of atonement of you going through the very thing that you inflicted upon other people. So on both the practical level, which is also a religious level because it involves tshuva, but the practical level of interacting with the person that you hurt, plus on the spiritual level, just in terms of the balance of things in Shemayim, there is some purpose to being Badad Yeshev, specifically for the Metzora that doesn't exist by other Tumeim. Something very foreign to us. We don't really understand it. We don't know it. We don't see it. And so it's hard for us to imagine what that means. And certainly what it would mean in society today of being Michutz LaMachane. Where exactly does a Machane end? Where does a city end? Where does a community end? Very interesting questions that perhaps we'll get to answer one day in the future. In the meantime, I wish you all a wonderful day and hope you should be well. Take care.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Rabbi.
Have a good day, Rabbi.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Very
much.
Goodbye, Avishai.
Bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.